those where the strongest winds are going to be. Now, here's Apalachicola over here, you see, and you can see the motion is in that direction there. So it looks like these strongest winds are going to stay to the east of Tallahassee. Tallahassee right now at this hour gusting up to 34 miles per hour. And in these other outer bands here, tremendously strong winds coming in the Cedar Key area right now. But the worst of the storm is right to the right side of that center of rotation. It's not so much an eye that's well developed, but it is the center of rotation. A little wider view, 1, 2, 3, each one increasing strength and wind as they come on in and come ashore. The strongest wind, obviously, is still offshore. All right, so here's the future. So it comes ashore somewhere around 80 miles per hour, the Tallahassee area, after midnight, before 2 a.m., something like that. Looks like now it's going to stay a little to the right there and pass just to the east. Then with the friction of the land and the interaction here with a cold front up that way, it starts to weaken. But as it goes through the Carolinas, we have here cold front, and the interaction of the storm and the cold front means very heavy rain possible and some storm surge along the coast, but that does not appear to be a significant threat because it's moving so quickly and it's moving parallel to the shore. Hey. And then it goes offshore up here in this area east of the Delmarva, east of the Jersey Shore, south of Long Island, and how it affects the weather over the weekend there remains to be seen. It looks like the worst weather comes in late Saturday into Sunday. Does it last into Monday? That's a big question mark. No way to know that at this point. Here's what's happening. There's the storm now. And watch the high pressure areas. This one here is steering. And watch that one up to the north as we go through Saturday. And then we go into Sunday. It becomes a blocking high. And that's why this sits in that area. And that's why we're not sure exactly how those two are going to affect the weather and whether that storm is really going to move out. Okay, that's it for this hour. Chris Moore is here now to lead the coverage on for the next hour here on the Weather Channel. Chris?
Right now on the Weather Channel, tracking Hermine, a dangerous hurricane, a potentially life-threatening situation that has multiple threats through the night. There's the threat for storm surge. There's the threat for some strong winds, heavy rain leading to flooding. But there is also a tornado threat, a very serious tornado threat, and there are active tornado warnings right now. So let's go back to the lab at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, where our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, not only predicted this days ago, but is tracking the warnings right now.
Thanks, and we do indeed have several tornado warnings, some in the Panhandle, some over into the peninsula of Florida. There are 3 there, one of which probably expiring, 2 more that continue, one expiring here, and a 5th one that is believed to continue. So let's take a look at the ones in the Panhandle. These are all in the right front quadrant. The areas off to the slightly to the north and east of the center. The tornado warning that was west of Perry has been canceled or expired, but there's still a tornado warning for the areas south and west of Day, Lafayette and Taylor counties. These storms are moving off toward the north and west there, getting close to the Highway 27 area right now. Then brand new tornado warning areas not too far away from the Cross City area of Florida. Dixie County with a tornado warning. These storms moving pretty much due toward the north. There had been a tornado warning for the storm north of Leesburg. That has expired. Should it re-intensify, it would be coming up toward the Electra area. And there had been a tornado warning embedded in this line of thunderstorms that was around the Ocoee area off to the north and west of Orlando. Should that re-intensify, that circulation would be up toward the Apopka area. But we are looking for the possibility of additional tornadoes. We have a tornado watch that goes until 11 o'clock for the Florida Panhandle and northern Florida, along with some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And over the next several days, we'll see that threat spread across Georgia and the eastern parts of the Carolinas. Chris?
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Forbes. Back here in the Florida Panhandle and Apalachicola. And this storm, what Dr. Forbes was just showing you, was a part of an overall large storm. This hurricane now still not making landfall just yet. Still hours away from that before it comes completely onshore. And then it's going to track through the southeast and up the east coast. So here at the Weather Channel, we have live team coverage for you, and we're going to throughout the night and throughout the life of Hermine and beyond. And with that right now, let's go to meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, who's about 75 miles from where I am right now in Tallahassee. And Reynolds, I can tell you right here, the wind has been whipping, the rain's been coming down. How are things for you?
I can tell you right now we've had some wind gusts that have been pretty substantial, but nothing like what we're going to be dealing with by the time we get to the witching hour, which I say would be around maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. If we can, I want to show you where we happen to be. Dennis is referring to this area as Tree City, Tallahassee. Understandably so when you see these gorgeous oaks, and if you look at these lights, it's kind of reminiscent of Christmas, but my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, this is no holiday at all. And as we step out over here in the street, Chris Henderson again, the man behind the camera, we take a look. There's our satellite truck over here, and the direction I happen to be pointing, that is south. And we can expect the winds to be strongest coming in from the south, and where you have these buildings lined up, we're going to have what it could be referred to as a gradient, where you get out the wind actually accelerate when it moves through those channels. So we do expect things to get a lot stronger, and when they do, trust me, we are not going to be near those trees. Going to be a tough time. I've got to tell you, folks, if you're familiar with the tropics, we've all seen those gorgeous, big, tall palm trees. They sway so well in the wind. That usually is not the case for some of these oak trees. They are not as malleable. They don't bend as easily, so there's a better chance for those snapping. Something else that could do is that could cause some widespread power outages. And I got to tell you, we've already had reports of power outages in the area. Not confirmed that they've been caused by Hurricane Hermine, but I'm telling you, in due course, we're going to have more problems. And to deal with those problems, our drive earlier today going from Cedar Key to this location, we saw quite a few Duke Energy trucks that were coming up here. They're not going out tonight to string cable. If you lose power tonight, it may take a day, it may take several days before things get back to normal, Chris. But I'll tell you, people here, for the most part, hunker down. They're ready for the big show. And I'm telling you, this is really going to flex his muscles, and you expect some frightening times over the next several hours. Back to you, Chris.
All right, meteorologist Reynolds Wolf reporting live from Tallahassee, Florida. Let's go back now to the Atlanta headquarters of the Weather Channel. That's where Senior Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross is right now with a new look at the position of the storm. And Brian, I understand you have that, but also if you have a chance, I'd like to hear what you think about where I am, the timing for Apalachicola, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so we have a new update. So now the National Hurricane Center is on an every-hour update just in terms of the position of the storm. So here is the latest position, 40 miles southeast of Apalachicola. Now, it was 45 miles south-southeast, so what this confirms is what we were saying just a moment ago, that the center is going to pass by you, Chris, to the east. So you are not going to get the strongest winds, which will be east of the center, but you're going to be very close to it. So you're going to get some very strong winds. They're going to pick up here in the next couple hours, and that's going to be the peak. But now, 40 miles southeast of Apalachicola, so it looks like it is going to stay just to the east of you. Now, we were just looking at the storm surge. This is the storm surge right now, and these numbers are over top of normally dry land. So this is above the normal high tide level. Look at this. We're heading for 3 feet here, and we're nowhere near high tide. We're right in the middle between, actually a little closer to low tide than we are to high tide. So these numbers have a few feet to go, unrelated to the storm, just related to the tide. And look down in the Tampa Bay area. This is Tampa Bay here. This is Clearwater Beach, and then on in Tampa Bay. And look, we're heading for 2 feet with the tide closer to low tide than it is to high tide. So this is going to cause flooding throughout the metropolitan Tampa area in those low-lying areas, Bayshore Boulevard and other areas where you regularly get that kind of tide. So we're going to look at this in close detail and time it all out for you, and we come back here in just a few minutes. Let me send it back to you, Chris.
All right, Brian Norcross, we appreciate that. All right, still a lot more to come here on the Weather Channel. We're going to be with you all night long and beyond, covering this storm, Hurricane Hermine, with the multiple threats right now here in Apalachicola. We are already seeing the effects of the rain and the flooding and the wind as well. I can tell you here, there has been a fair amount of street flooding. Some areas, the roads have been blocked off. Also, businesses closing early, and some also on limited operation. The restaurants where we are right here were also closed at the hotel where we're at. So the impact started even before the worst of the rain did arrive. And we continue here on the Weather Channel. We're going to check back in with more of our team coverage, covering all of the threats here, including that tornado threat. Again, there are active tornado warnings right now in parts of Florida. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But make sure you stay with us here on the Weather Channel as we continue our all-night long coverage of Hurricane Hermine. We'll be back right after this.
New from the Rotisserie Kitchen at